Hello everyone and welcome to Maple Leaf Reviews. I'm Jeffrey Weber and today I'm going to be bringing you my top 25 games as of 2018. Now, it's been a year and a half since I did this list and there's been a lot of changes to the list, a lot of new additions. There are 16 new additions to the list, so only 9 games are consistent between the two. So rather than say whenever I introduce a new game, and yet another new game to the list, I'm just going to reference the ones that were on the list previously and what their placement was, rather than just hear me say the same sentence over and over again. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about how I made the list, as well as just cover my 25 through 21. So how I made the list was I recently changed my rating system from a 1 to 10 scale to a 1 to 6 scale, and I looked at all the games that I had rated 5 or 6 out of 6. Now, there was about 29 games of those, and then I pared it down to 25. I ranked them, using the PubMeeple board game ranking system. If you go online and Google that, it basically, you input a list, and then it'll pop up with a choice between 2 games, and then you pick which one you prefer, and then it kind of compiles all that data, and then it gives you a ranking from 1 to whatever you put in for your list. A couple other things that I did was I did not include any new games that I played since January 1st, 2018. So that was kind of my cutoff for new games making it onto the list. And I think that's about it for me making my list. So let's just jump in with my number 25, which is Kingdom Death Monster. Now, this was a Kickstarter that I backed that I was really excited to get. It has a horror theme. It is a dice chucking combat system, and I had mentioned before how that was probably one of my least favorite mechanisms in games is dice rolling combat. However, in this game, I think because it's cooperative and misery loves company, you can kind of have a little bit of solace with each other when you make those bad rolls, and you can also cheer together when you make the really good rolls. The combat, I feel, is pretty tactical, and you're going to be taking the resources that you get from from fighting these monsters, and you're going to be using that to build gear, and that's how you're going to be mitigating all these dice rolling factors by getting better gear, better statistics on them. You can even get gear that allows you to look at like the combat deck for the different monsters, so you can have some foresight into what they're going to do and have a very tactical nature. My favorite aspect, though, of Kingdom Death Monster is the settlement phase, where you take those resources and you build the new gear, you build new locations in your settlement, and then the innovation deck, which has this kind of tech tree feel, is really cool. So I really like that building up aspect in Kingdom Death Monster. My number 24 was previously number 1 on my list the last time I did this, and that's Android Netrunner, an LCG where you have one player playing a cyber hacker trying to infiltrate a corporation's servers, steal their agendas, and then the other side is just the corporation trying to protect all of their assets from these runners. Really asymmetric nature, really cool in how it plays, the hidden information, the racing aspect of trying to build up your engine to get into the servers faster, or build up your servers faster than the runner can get into them. Really cool. The reason it's dropped so much is I recently, in the last couple of years, moved further away from the gaming store where I used to go, so I just don't get this game played nearly as much as I used to. I still really enjoy it, but because I don't get it played as much, it's not hitting this list as high as it did before. That's my number 24, Android Netrunner. Now my number 23 is Solaris Mission. It's set in space, and you're going to be flying around these different sectors, building space stations, completing different missions. You're going to be building outposts. The cool thing about this game that I really like is you only get 16 main actions in this game, which doesn't seem like a lot, but the amount of comboing that you're going to be able to do with supplementary actions, or when you build outposts, you get to trigger a special ability, or when you complete missions next to commercial hubs, you get to trigger another outpost bonus. And then when you're building space stations, it's kind of like a little mini engine builder because they're going to trigger at the end of every era, and there's 4 eras in the game. And you also trigger all your previously built space stations. So there's a lot of comboing nature that you can do in this game. Really cool. I like that kind of tight action with all the combos that you can do in Solaris Mission. My number 22 is Kemet. Now, the thing that I like about this game is the combat system is very deterministic. It has a little bit of card play involved. That's kind of a little bit of unknown when you're facing up against your opponent. I like that it's all about attacking, trying to get victory points faster than your opponent. But the thing that I probably like the most about Kemet is how there's all these power tiles, and as the game progresses, you're going to be buying these different power tiles that give you special abilities, maybe recruiting monsters. So you build a asymmetry in your gameplay as the game progresses. Everyone starts out with the same opportunities, but you're going to be building an asymmetric nature into yourself as you choose, as you see fit, as the game progresses. It also plays very quickly. Really cool game. That's Kemet. And then finally for this video, my number 21 is Rococo. That is my number 7 from when I last did this list, so it's dropped a little bit. I still really enjoy it. It's about making dresses, but it's a very cutthroat business, making dresses and renting them out for people who are going to be attending this King's Ball. It has area control. You're going to be funding different decorations. It has a deck building component, but you have a lot of control over the cards that you're going to be able to put into your hand, and those are the actions, dictate what actions you're going to be able to take. My favorite moments in Rococo is when you're forced to act in a round and you have a plan, and then the first person takes that plan, and then you have a backup plan, and then the next person does that, and then you have, okay, I have my secondary backup plan, and then that gets taken by another person. It constantly forces you to readjust and rechange what you're going to do on your turn, because it's such a tight competition over the different resources or the different dresses or the different area majority spots. Really cool game, Rococo. So I hope you enjoyed this list. Join me in the next series of videos as I continue on from my number 20 through number 1. All right, see you guys next time.